Happy spring day there, everybody. Thank you for joining me in my living room and for brunch. I have an exciting show today for you. Think I had advertised a financial advisor sometimes in the past, and we finally were able to get her. And we're going to see if we can get educated a little bit about how and where and um, what the future may bring for our investments. Our investment advisor, and hopefully in the future also that we will bring her back, is Yulana Baranda. She works for Edward Jones. And welcome, Yulana.
Hi, happy to be here.
Great. So nice to have you here. Um, I know that most of our listeners, they may be before retirement age or after retirement age. If they are before retirement age, Yolana, what do you think? When is a good time to start saving for retirement? I mean, and don't tell me 20s, we know that. But uh, what, if you're in your 50s, is it too late or is it still okay?
Well, it's never too late to start. Let me begin with that. The older you get, the more you're actually going to have to save. Obviously, if you started later in life, so you'll have to be a little more diligent about it. I do recommend you start as soon as you can, but it's never too late. You just have to apply different strategies to your plan and make sure that you set goals and that you commit to them. That's the most important thing.
Right, right. So, if someone is in their uh, 40s or 50s, so do you think IRAs and Roth and all of these savings and these tax deferred savings accounts, are they still relevant, or is there something out there that is now maybe a little more advantage, because there's new products coming up all the time, you know?
Well, one thing you have to remember is that an IRA is not a product.
Okay.
It's a type of retirement tool. It's a tax deferred account or a tax free account. There's IRAs, there's Roth IRAs. You have retirement accounts through your employers like 401ks, 403bs, 457s, all these different things, and all of them are absolutely applicable. You should try to put away as much as you can, um, and use it to your advantage. A lot of employer plans will match what your contribution is. You should at least put that much in. If your employer is putting in 3%, you put in 3%. If you can do more, that's even better. Um, the more you can put away, the better. But definitely, IRAs are absolutely relevant. They are a secondary tool to your employer plans to help you put even more away. Um, but it's definitely a good idea. So, as far as using these accounts to your benefits, what goes into them is a different story and it's different for every individual. You have to customize what works for you. You have to think about how much time you have left. We call this a time horizon. How averse you are to risk in the stock market, in the bond market. So, you have to put all of these things together to create a well diversified portfolio that works for you and the goals that you've set for yourself.
Right. So you think it's a good idea to have a financial advisor,
Oh,
even if you
absolutely.
have a small amount of money, you know?
Absolutely, yes. I like to tell my clients, especially the ones that come to me that have very little savings, I don't really have that much money. Well, how much money you have is relative to who you are. $1 million could be a fortune to one, it could be minimal to another. It all depends on who you are. But you have to remember, it takes an acorn to grow an oak tree. That's what I tell everybody. You got to start somewhere.
That's
You
true.
know, you can't expect to have this huge tree of money waiting for you when you never planted the seed to begin with. So, um, you have to start
Yeah.
somewhere, whether
Yeah.
it's five
That's good
dollars a week,
advice.
$20 a week, or $2,000 a week. You have to start somewhere.
Very good advice. Yes. Um, so, what do you think? Uh, I mean, I've heard a lot about, as you know, and the audience knows also, I sell insurance.
Hmm.
And we learned that many of the life insurance products can be used almost like an investment. Tell us a little more about that because you definitely are the person who knows.
Hmm. Well, they can be. There are different types of life insurance policies. Again, what you choose, it depends on what you need it for. If if you're looking to leave a legacy to your family, to your children, there are separate policies for that. If you're looking to supplement, if you've exhausted all other retirement plan options, you have your 401k, you've maxed it out, you have your IRA, you've maxed that out, and you're looking for more ways to save for your retirement in these tax deferred accounts. Life insurance is an option for you. It's called a life insurance retirement plan. Um, there are all kinds of different types of insurance products that are out there. Again, it depends on what you need, what you're looking for, and what the goal is. Um, I can't really go into specifics without knowing exactly what you're looking for, but there are all different kinds of insurance. You have permanent and term insurance. Permanent insurance would be, for example, like a whole life policy or a variable life insurance policy, whereas term insurance is something that's exactly for a set period of time, for a term of a number of years, 10, 15, 20 years. This is not insurance that builds cash value. This is
That's
insurance
right.
that's specifically to leave behind should something happen to you. That's true life insurance. It's a legacy policy. It's not
Right.
intended to grow wealth. It's intended to provide in your absence.
And
So
that is
that's
usually, those are the things that are usually sold on television right now, right? Although they do say it is a whole life insurance. How do you know anything about that?
as far as what
You
they
know?
sell on TV. Those are very uh, you have to be careful with what you see on TV. Those are
Oh,
policies
yeah.
designed for people that are basically uninsurable. There are limitations as far as health or age. Um, there's risk there for the insurance companies, so they limit how much they give you, which is why those policies are quite small. They're meant to they're called final expense policies, where they'll cover the cost of a funeral or things like that. So they're usually
Yeah.
minimal, 10, 15, $25,000. When you're thinking of life insurance for legacy to take care of your family, you're really looking, especially if you have a young family, what would it take? How much would you leaving this planet, leaving this earth, leaving your family behind, how much would it impact your family financially? You're looking at if your children are, in their younger years, 10, 9 years old, you have to think about 10 more years until they get out of the house, maybe paying for college, what your spouse would have to take care of if you were gone, a mortgage, car payments, things like that. Those are the things that you have to think about that go into a life insurance policy and exactly how much you may need to be insured for. But again, every case is very different.
Of course.
There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it, but there's something for everyone out there. I can't really speak to what you see on TV as I don't sell those products myself. Um,
Yeah.
but they are designed for those who are unable to get a whole life policy or a term policy for um, a decent amount of money, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, uh, well, that's certainly very good advice and very good knowledge. And I'm sure that our listeners, we have a few more minutes left with you. Amnon, do we have anybody in the chat room that wants to ask Yolana a question?
Not yet. But
Not
I
yet. Okay.
but
Well,
I've got a
oh,
little question here about that insurance that is high risk. I mean, uh if they insure you for the final expenses like 10,000 or whatever, and they say Nobody can be turned down. That doesn't sound like a high risk.
Well, for them, it's definitely a risk because um, everyone's going to die.
Right.
They know it's going to happen.
Then I
Um,
mean, why would they insure somebody who is
which is,
seven?
yeah, that's why you have to read the fine print.
Okay.
You
All right.
know, there could be some caveats, some buyer beware things in those contracts, which I'm not aware of because again, I don't sell those policies. Um, but you have to be weary.
Okay. All right. That's good.
That's buyer beware is all that I have to say. Just be careful
Well,
what you read about.
right,
And if you know somebody in the financial industry and you've come across this contract, you're thinking of buying one, I'm sure anyone would be happy to review it for you and say, you know what, maybe this is a good idea for you, or maybe you should stay away from it. Without actually
right,
seeing one of the policies in front of me, I couldn't tell you.
right.
But just be careful. That's all I have to
And
say.
I can put some knowledge to that too, because I have responded to one of those just to find out what it was that they were selling, and they sent me the scale of what you have to put in. Now, at my age, which, as we all know, I'm over 70, and that was not 895 or whatever they had advertised. That is for a 20-year-old.
Mhm.
For me, it would have been over $100 a month to buy into that.
Mhm.
So there again, I find it a little false advertisement, although they claim, no, we do have a policy for that 895. But it's not in the same age bracket
Mhm.
as they are advertising. And so I have a little, afterwards I was really sort of like, whoa, you know. But
Mhm.
like you said, you have to read the fine print. You have to look at the investment that you're making and what you're getting for it. You know,
Yep. And remember, the older
absolutely.
you get, the more expensive things cost in the insurance world.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's the same thing with, Medicare and Medicaid. There are a lot of new things that are coming, and I talk about that all the time. That there more and more we have to be vigilant, and we have to go to people like you who are in the know, because you will be able to steer your clients towards a solution that is really beneficial to them,
Mhm.
you know? And that is what we have to, I mean, we might as well, right? And if we do have the fortune of having you back, which I do hope so, that we have, and to my listeners, please, if you have questions afterwards, send them to us, send them to me, send them to Gisela at ptd.net, Peter Thomas David.net. If you don't get a response, then try me at the next show on Sunday, because sometimes those emails, I don't know, they get lost in cyberspace apparently. And I will see that everybody does get their answer. I definitely thank you so much. One last question, if you have
Mhm.
another
Sure.
minute for us.
Sure.
If I have like $5,000, what do
Mhm.
you think? What do you think? What industries? I'm very environmentally conscious. What industry do you think I should invest it in?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. It's tough to say without knowing a little bit more about you. But there are lots of alternative energy. There are lots of mutual funds and mutual fund companies that are socially conscious. They're very careful about the companies they invest in. However, you have to be aware when you do invest in those types of companies and funds that they're not just looking at the financial aspect of it, they're also looking at the social side of it. So it might not always be the most lucrative, But if what's important to you is the message that you're sending about the companies you're investing in, then that's a way to go. So it's difficult. It's difficult to just, select
Oh,
one
I
industry.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Though, I really do think that we have to start supporting our water companies that are water conscious, that
Hmm.
are conscientious of doing research so that we preserve our water sources. Also, our solar and alternative energy companies. I think one should really support and see. And as I see and read from the internet and every other source, they're doing quite well,
Yep.
those companies. So, you know, if I do have some questions after on for Yolana, I will forward them to you and I will see that you will give us the answers.
Sure, I'd be happy to help.
And let me give the contact. Yolana, tell the viewers and the audience where they could contact you if they have any questions.
Okay, well, they can reach me at my office, and that's at area code 845-294-1487. Or you can send me an email at Ulana, Ulana dot Emerson. I was recently married, so my name changed. It's .emerson at edwardjones.com. You can also go to my Facebook page. It's under Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Ulana Emerson. Or you can go to edwardjones.com and submit a question through there. So there are lots of ways to get to us.
Terrific. Thank you so much to give, even on a Sunday, to give some time because I know that Sundays are always your free times. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I was delighted to be here for you and your listeners, and hopefully I can answer a few more questions for people.
Absolutely. And we definitely want you back, okay?
Sure.
All right.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
Same to you, my dear. And I hope that we don't get any snow that will impact all of us, although it might not be such a bad idea to hang around the house for an evening and an afternoon to get a little. I'm ready for a little bit more snow, not 6 inches, but,
Oh no,
you
I'll
know.
take the warmer weather. I'm ready for it.
Then come
All
down here.
right. I understand. I understand, but I'm a weirdo. I kind of like winter. I don't really have a problem with winter, but I don't have a problem with summer either. So
Yeah. I
I
like
guess I'm
winter
just,
around Christmas time, and that's about it.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, we didn't have much snow this year. So, all right, Yolana, have a good
All right.
afternoon. Thank you again.
Thank
Bye
you.
for
You
now.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Well, that was Yolana. And please, listeners, please send us your questions, call us. You can also call me at 570 296 5613. 570 5613. I'd be glad to answer calls. And Amnon, how can they reach this show? Would you mind giving the number?
919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice.
Terrific. All right. Well, now that we have had some insight of what we're going to do with all the money that we're going to be earning when Trump is president, uh, well, I still can't believe that. I still cannot believe. I somehow am, every time I think about that possibility, I cringe a little. But I guess if the people of America want him, they're going to get him. So there is nothing much that I can say about it. And I won't. I will say something though of Bill Moyer. Anybody who knows Bill Moyer just had on his show of what are the most important things for the 21st century, of what we should be concerned about, and what will be we will be concerned about, and what will change. Bill Moyer, as you guys know, is certainly an insightful man, and he usually has his finger and his brain on the pulse of the times. Um, the prediction is, and I think that is absolutely correct, that we are on a cusp of change. There will be huge amount of change coming. Um, it will start with that people will be more environmentally conscientious, and it's starting already. Many of us are being much more thoughtful of what we buy and how we dispose of our trash. Um, I mean, I will not really buy any plastic bottles. Um, because I think they're wrong. And if I do have to, and if I do buy something that is in plastic, I will certainly see that it is disposed of in a way that they can recycle plastic. And they are doing a lot of that. I will also buy things that are made naturally, either with hemp or with recycled plastic. So people are starting all over. I'm not the only one, all over to do that. Um, there also will be a very much of a change of thinking. We have to teach our children how to think differently. And they are schools in Europe already that have like kindergarten, and I think it starts at kindergarten, um, where they teach the children about the environment. Our environment has to be preserved. If we do not preserve our environment, if we don't know anything about our environment, if we don't take care of our environment, it we will have, at one point, there will be no environment. There will be nothing that will be left for us. And we have to understand that it is not an infinitive. It has taken enough abuse. We have to change our way of thinking. And we have to teach our children not to waste food as we have been taught. I mean, people, even if they are in their 50s, they know that they played outside much more, that they did not leave food on the plate because there were poor children somewhere that were starving, and people thought, well, you can't waste food. Today, there is a lot of wastefulness that has to be changed, and it can only be changed if we teach our children. We also have to teach our children respect for the environment, respect for animals, respect for each other. That it's starting already, and I find that very encouraging. And but we have to continue doing that. There has been a generation where it was just haphazard. Everything, we just fell into the rabbit hole of greed and wastefulness. We have to crawl back out of that. So I just am encouraged about the future. I am glad I'm at the age that I am, because I do understand more, because I've learned more. But also, I don't have to live another 50 years and see some of these things not come into fruition. However, like I said, when I heard the talk from Bill Moyer, I thought that was very encouraging, and it gave me hope for our future. And no matter who will be elected as the next president, thank God we do have safe breaks in the Senate and in the House that will curb some of the enthusiasm of maybe a new president, or may it be female, may it be male. Um, Either one of the choices right now um, is going to go in there like a firebrand. And, sometimes that can be not so good for our society. But we will wait and see. There is nothing. I just wish and hope that everybody goes out and votes. Um, because not voting is not an alternative. Okay, that's not going to be a safeguard that there will no bad things will happen. No, you have to go and vote. You have to go vote in your best conscience. Okay, so that was my little spiel on political things. One of the things is that. Um, I do want to talk about also is anxiety in your pets. But before we do that, I do want to talk about um, all the drugstores, Rite Aid and CVS and so on. Again, now that we are in flu season coming up, now that the weather is going to be warm, cold, that's usually flu season. Again, be sure that you are very healthy when you do get your flu shots. I am not a proponent of flu shots, but then that's me. That has nothing to do with that you should or shouldn't. I really am not either or. I do urge people, though, to be very healthy when you get your flu shot. Because if you're not very healthy and you get your flu shot, or you have all kinds of other ailments, you may have some side effects that you do not want. Okay, so I urge everybody who wants to get a flu shot, get it only if you're very healthy. If you're not, just take your shot, because we know, and we've talked about that, flu shots are really only against one strain of flu. They are not against all flu viruses. So since they are, what, about 10 or 20 different viruses, you're not protected against all the others. So you may still get the flu, even though you got the flu shot. So that is just the information on that.
Take
Because
it
I think, yes?
take it a little bit farther. It's not just flu season; it's also allergy season coming up.
Ah, yes,
What
allergy.
can we do for
Here's
that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for, yeah, we had that on the last show. We talked about allergies in dogs and cats, and they have them just like we have them, okay? Um, I mean, my little poodle that I have was just over there sneezing already. Um, because I brought in some tulips, and they are in full bloom. And apparently, one of my little furries went close by and got some of those pollens in their nostrils. Now, if that happens a lot, then you can treat them also. But that is just for dogs. But it's the same thing for people. People who are very highly allergic against all these pollens, um, they can have a real bad time at this time of the year. So here are a couple of remedies that may help. Okay. Um, One is Kali Beach. If the nose is running, the eyes is running, if it's stopped up, you're really stopped up, your nose is really stopped up and it's really not going anywhere, but it's clear. The whatever comes out of your nose is pretty much so clear. It's not yellowish or not really thick mucus. When it's thick mucus, you have more of a cold than an allergy. But if you have, really congested sinuses and it's really, take a dose of Kali Bish, Kalibich. It's really, the full name is Bishorum, and but it's sold under Kali Bish. And if you take a 6C, a dose of that, maybe once or twice a day, that should fix up the nose congestion. Okay. If you have itchy, runny eyes, and you really, it's really bad, you take allium cepa, and that is made from the onion, and the sensation is very much so like when you cut onions. Um, your eyes are running, itchy, it's almost blinding for some people. Your nose is maybe running. Um, Allium cepa works miracles. It really does. It works like a charm. It's unbelievable how well that works. Those are two remedies that really work well against allergies. Okay, allergies of any kind, even a cat allergy or a dog. We have a friend. Whenever he comes to visit us, because I have 3 cats, and cats go always to the people that don't like them, right? He has no he has this person has really no connection to animals, and but he's a good friend and a good person, so we like him anyway. Although if we would not he would not be such a good person, um, we probably would not have him in our house because we don't like people that don't like animals. But that's just that's just a little humor. It's not really true, but yes, it is true, you know. But anyway, when he walks into the house, the first thing, I have already the remedy in my hand. I give him a dose.
And that's again 6C.
Yeah, you would do, I'm sorry, you would do 6C because it's not, it's not a, it's not a long-standing ailment. You go higher, the longer the ailment has been around, the higher you go in potency, because the stronger the potency gets. I'm sorry. But when it's acute, uh, it comes on fast, it goes away first fast, then you take a lower dosage, and 6C is perfect for that. 6 or 9, they're almost the same, 6 or 9. So those are like first help things that you can do right away. Um, what also helps is, at this point, when the poison ivy starts to grow, and the poison ivy and the oak no, ivy also, both of them can cause severe skin allergies, as we know. Um, when they first now come, the young leaves, and when we go out there to weed, we often don't see it right away. When you do your garden, I have a lot of poison ivy on my property, um, and I'm always after it. Don't spray it with these poisons that will kill it, because what you do is you harm the environment. Put on gloves and pull them out. That's really takes is the best way to take care of it, when you try to get the root out. Now, but if you don't have gloves on, if you have an allergy, you can get severely burned almost. You have these blisters, poison ivy, poisoning really of the skin. Now there's a remedy for that, and sometimes the dogs bring it in too. When they brush against it, it's on their fur, and when you pet them, you get poison ivy. Uh, the best remedy for that is Rhus tox, RHUS, separate word, Toxodorum, it really is the full name, but it goes under Rhus tox. And there again, 9C, a couple of doses. You probably have to dose like 15 minutes apart a couple of times, stops the itching, and will get you better in no time. But if you do have it for a day or two already, then it has gone through your bloodstream, and then it takes a little longer for you to heal. But it certainly does not take as long as if you would not take any remedy, because it can take weeks for some people, because it goes into the bloodstream and it poisons really many areas of your body. So you could have it not only just on your hands or your arms. When you touch your face, you can get it on your face. You can get it on your butt. I mean, one time, even though I don't get it anymore at all, I got it only once. I used Roostox for several days afterwards, and I never get it now anymore. But I tell you a funny story about that. I love camping, and Tom and I, we were out camping, and we were pretty much so by ourselves in the woods. And when you go camping, even though I have a toilet in my camper, you don't want to really use it that much, because then you have to get rid of it and so on. So I went into the woods, and I had to relieve myself. And girls don't do it standing up, they have to squat down. So I squatted down and tinkled and went about my business. And in the evening I thought, wow, my butt is really, really itching. What is And I felt this burning, itching sensation. Well, I squatted right into poison ivy. I mean, how stupid was that, right? So I had some Roostox, and I treated myself, and I really never had it much again afterwards. But that can be, you have to be careful with allergies. Also, an allergy is dust mites and so on. There are several allergy medications. Um, None of them come to mind right away, but if you want to have, I know there are several others, because dust mites produce different symptoms. So you may want to give me a call or send me an email, and I will answer the question, and you can just tell me of what the symptoms are. Any other questions, Amnon?
No, but I mean, I was just wondering. I'm beginning, my eyes beginning to itch, and I
Yeah,
sneeze.
take take some allium cepa.
But
Allium
you just
cepa.
take one dose. You said.
Yeah, take one dose,
Okay.
wait 15, 20 minutes. If it's not any better, take another dose.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. You can take, as you know, you can't overdose
Right.
with homeopathy. However, you can if you selected the wrong remedy, you can have the symptoms of the remedy that you selected.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why I'm really not in favor of, but you know a lot about homeopathy already, because Debbie Brooks has a show on your
Yeah.
network,
And you.
and and I talk a lot about homeopathy, and so a lot about homeopathy, and then it's okay to medicate yourself. If you are new to homeopathy, I would not medicate myself. I would ask someone that is in the know,
A
and
homeopath.
a homeopath, yes, and someone who has been trained as
Right.
one, as I have been. I've gone
Right.
6 years to school, you know, uh, to learn about homeopathy. And it, even though it sounds so easy, and on the little bottles it says either for headaches or for this or for that or coughs or whatever. Um, every remedy that is selected has at least 20 different applications,
Mm-hmm.
at least, if not more. And that alone is already a little stopping point for people to say, okay, um, maybe this may not be the right remedy for me. Maybe I should check. Maybe I should check. So it's better to do that, to ask someone. Not always do you have to pay money for it. If you give me a call, or you ask me if it's a simple question, I'll be glad to answer. I do not charge a cent for that. Okay. All right. One last thing that I really find that we do need to talk, and I do want to talk about, is separation and annexy in dogs. Oh my God, it's such a big thing. So many animals, so many dogs, my dogs too. My dogs, when I leave the house and just go to town for an hour and I come back, they treat me like their long lost friend. I mean, like, they go absolutely nuts and barking and jumping and so on. And I am just like everybody else out there. I'm not really a disciplinarian when it comes to my little dog. How can you discipline a little dog? But what I have found is, when they do that, because it is annoying, and especially if you have like good slacks on, or good things, and they jump up on you, and they may have had muddy feet or something. I have curbed that quite a bit in putting my hand out like this and just saying no and staying calm. I would not pet them. And let me tell you, it has really worked. It has really curbed that. Has it stopped it completely? No. But it has curbed it. And my little Charlie wants to come and say hello. Hello, Charlie. Say hello to the folks there. See, go look in there. See, there's a camera there. There is a camera there. There, see? Oh, yeah. All right. Yes. And Charlie hears me talking. And since Charlie is blind, he always wants to be where I am. He wants to, he would love to just constantly sit on top of me. Um, since he's blind, I have given him rescue remedy, and it doesn't. He needs his remedy this morning again, because whenever they get very, very needy, it means that they are very insecure about themselves. They don't know really, especially a blind dog, where they are. So they try to be almost sitting on top of you. So don't encourage that too much, because when even though you want to be as kind as possible, but you're the alpha dog. You're the one who has to give the go of, okay, time for affection, time for food, time for play. You are the one who initiates it. Don't let your dogs or your cats take over. You be the one. Now, if you have a dog like my Teddy, he gets bent out of shape for excitement when we want to go in the car. He jumps around so much, and he is so out of well, not anymore, but it used to be. He used to be so out of control that he would almost hurt himself. So what I started to do is I started to give him chamomile, the homeopathy chamomile, before we would go on a trip. I would give it to him like an hour before we would go. Then I would go and I would pack our bags, but then I would sit down on the couch again and I would make believe, oh, no, we're not going anywhere. We're just staying here. Immediately, that excitement subsided. The chamomile had time to activate and to calm him also. So by the time we got into the car, we had a relatively calm dog. Now that we have done that for a year or two, now this is not a quick fix, but it does work. We have done that now a year or two. Now we took a trip last weekend and we had everybody in the car. And guess what? Teddy settled in with everybody else. He didn't even need chamomile anymore. Everybody was calm. They all settled down in their little area, and we had a pleasant, nice drive. And that's what you want to do. If you have a dog that tears up the house while you're gone, while you go to work, give him beforehand chamomile or rescue. If it is a dog that wets everywhere, give him rescue rather than chamomile. A dog that, if it's a male that lifts his leg on every corner of your furniture because he's so upset that you're leaving and that you left. And he also, you know, I have to do something. I have to do something. They get very nervous. Give him rescue remedy before you leave. Put rescue remedy in his water. It does not hurt the animal. It doesn't calm them so that they are comatose. It just makes them more at ease. And if you come home and you still find your seat cushions unraveled and there is feathers everywhere and the uh, leg of the couch is halfway chewed down, well, then you take some rescue. Don't punish your dog. Take care of it the next time that your animal is given a remedy that helps him cope with the anxiety. And if you adopted one from a pound, that is a must. The minute you have you give that dog rescue remedy. Just imagine you have been attached to one way of life. Now you're thrown into jail, and now somebody else picks you up. Somebody that you don't know, they smell terribly different, and they take you to a home that you have no knowledge of. You don't, it doesn't smell good. And there may be some other animals yet there. Wouldn't that give you really anxiety? And would that not really make you upset? So give that animal some rescue and to cope with it, and just have a little patience because they may be doing in the beginning some weird things. So make rescue remedy and chamomile your best friend when you adopt a new animal. And with that, I'm going to say bye bye, happy spring. Uh, the sky is blue here right now, although we have had from the weatherman. We've been getting things about snow. I mean, the sky is clear to me. I don't know. Sometimes I think they do that just to up the ratings. I have no idea. But hopefully that this storm passes us by. People in Long Island and lower from us and towards the coast, if you're listening, I feel for you. And I hope that you tune in next Sunday when we talk about more of things that concern you. I wish you a wonderful week, healthy and profitable, and bye bye.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Parent Dome with Ryan Miller, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.